Hello and welcome to Ref Sports. This is a morning show presented by the IDFC First Bank. I am Vaibhav Tripathi with me, Shamik Chakraborty. Today is the last day of the first test between India and Sri Lanka, and the equation is pretty simple for both the teams. India needs 6 wickets to win. On the other hand, Sri Lanka need 288 more runs to win. They have already lost 4 wickets and they have a mountain to climb. Yes, if you see the wicket, it hasn't deteriorated that much. It still looks good, but there is a bit of dryness underneath, and that could bring India spinners into play early day 5. As far as the weather is concerned, because it is the only thing that can save Sri Lanka from the defeat. Weather looks good. We have given you the weather report as well at 8:30. Weather looks good. Clear skies, blue skies. There's no forecast of rain. And by the time India wraps up, at least till that time there is no forecast of rain. I think India will be having a early wrap to this test match because there is nothing left. It's only down to 3 recognized batters that Sri Lanka have. The two who will resume over from overnight. Dhananjay De Silva and Sonal Dinusha. After that, there is a Niroshan Dingwela who played that 80 odd run innings in the first innings. Apart from that, if you go after Dikwela, then there is no batting left. Then there is a long tail, and it's a matter of only 3 wickets. Yes, India have to pick 6 wickets, but I think Shamik, first it will be only 3 wickets. If they take those 3 wickets early on, then it will be game over by lunch.
Good morning, and Vaibhav, before coming to this live show, and which is presented by IDFC First Bank, um, I was having a conversation with with someone who knows the weather here inside out, and he was telling me, look, there were some patches of cloud behind us, but he was telling me, whenever it rains, the clouds come from the direction of the sea.
Yes.
So until and unless the clouds are coming from the direction of the sea, which is on our right hand side, it is very unlikely that it will rain. And I don't think India should need more than 2 hours or 3 hours maximum. 3 hours maximum to wrap this one up because it's a day 5 pitch. Yesterday the ball was turning, and on day 5 it will turn a lot more. Uh, Sri Lanka obviously a little unlucky with Lahir Udara's wicket. That was their fourth last night. It was a case of the benefit of doubt going in favor of the bowler, which should. But then again, as their bowling coach said at the press conference, you have to accept umpire's decision. And obviously, it is. If Sri Lanka lose that match, it would be nothing to do with that dismissal. It is about India playing better cricket than them over 5 days. So India, it is very nicely set up for India, and all eyes on Manav Sutar and company.
Definitely, all my eyes on Manav Sutar and company. But yesterday, what we saw, there's still a lot of assistance for the fast bowlers as well. 14 wickets fell, and majority of the wickets were picked by pacers. Asita Fernando picked 4 wickets, Lairu Kumara 2. Then from the Indian side, Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, both bagging 1 wicket each. So there is still help for the bowlers as well. You can extract bounce out of this surface. You can use the short ball play, which Sri Lanka did really well in the third innings against the Indian batters. Shamik, for India, the fast bowlers will also have to also have to play an important role because it is likely that, yes, just like yesterday, Shubman will start with one pacer and one spinner in tandem.
I think Manav Sutar will have a long spell, especially from the fourth end. And yes, you are absolutely right. From the pavilion end, he will start off with a bowler. I think it will be Siraj, and gradually he will bring Prasidh Krishna into that. But before going into the test play, I have a question for you. Do you think Prasidh Krishna, the way he has bowled in this test, he has done enough to retain his place for the second test in Colombo, which starts on August 23? Yesterday he took a good catch. I didn't expect him to take that catch tumbling forward, but he held on to that. It was a good catch. And the first innings he came back, and when he was brought back, he took Niroshan Dingwela's wicket. Yesterday also he took a wicket, basically, although it was basically an innocuous delivery, and Mendes should have played it better. But do you think Prasidh Krishna has done enough to retain his place, or India should play Gurnoor Brar in Colombo?
I think Prasidh has done enough only because if you look at the dismissals, the first dismissal, Niroshan Dikwela, it came with the old ball, relatively old ball. And then if you talk about the yesterday's dismissal, came with the new ball. First over, getting the wicket in his first over is something that we don't see generally with Prasidh Krishna. We have seen a lot of times with Mohammad Siraj and other bowlers. So yes, I think for given the conditions and what was expected from the fast bowlers didn't play a big role in this test match, haven't taken a lot of wickets. I think Prasidh has done only because he broke that partnership. I think that partnership breaking ball, which he bowled to Niroshan Dikwela, I think things were pretty much sealed there only. I still think that this team management will back him as they have continued to. You only know that this team management believes that Washington Sundar, Prasidh Krishna, Ajit Rana, these can be all format players. And Prasidh Krishna is definitely one that they trust a lot. Shubman Gill also spoke highly of him in the pre-match press conference. I think Prasidh Krishna, although he still has a long way to go, still has a lot to improve upon. I think he already sealed his place, and I don't think unless and until he's injured, I don't think Prasidh Krishna will lose his spot.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Bruno Brar because you don't want a play bowler of his quality to sit out. But coming back to this game, Beba, bo- my eyes will be on someone. People are talking about um, Manav Sutar, and we will come. We'll discuss his bowling. We'll come the technical part of his bowling also. But before that, my eyes will be on someone who is Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav because it's a day 5 pitch. And if we go back to the test match that India played before this against Afghanistan, Kuldeep made an impact in the second innings, picking up 3 wickets. So day 5 pitch, and yesterday I saw him bowling a bit slower through the air, giving the ball a little more air. So I think he will continue with that same way. Let's see which end he is getting. But Vaibhav, you also think that Kuldeep could be handful on day 5?
I think it will be very important for Kuldeep to pick wickets because yesterday about 30 odd overs were bowled in the last session by India. But Kuldeep Yadav, me and Devashish, we were discussing in the post day, we were surprised that Kuldeep, out of those 30 overs, Kuldeep only bowled 3 overs. On a day 4 pitch, your front line spinner bowling only 3 overs. What does it mean? Is there any signal? Because Kuldeep, although yes, he has only taken 1 wicket in this test so far, the lowest of all the spinners who have taken part in this match, still he's your match winner. And unless and until he doesn't bowl, you don't give him enough overs under his belt, he cannot find his rhythm. Kuldeep is a rhythm bowler too. If you are going to give him long spells, then only he will going to find his rhythm, and when he's bowling with rhythm, then only he will take wickets. It's about just 1 wicket. If Kuldeep picks 1 wicket, then he has that in him that he can run through the rest of the batting lineup. So it's important to give overs. It's important for Shubman Gill to give confidence to his left arm wrist spinner because if Kuldeep is underconfident, if you're not giving enough overs to Kuldeep, maybe then going ahead in the next test SSC, he might not be even in your plans. You will say to him that you only picked 1 wicket, so that's it. We are going to play either a Gurmur or a Saranshan.
Sorry. Vaibhav, I was having a sort of lengthy conversation with a former player yesterday, and the topic of discussion was Kuldeep. Um, he is right in the sense that people come out with conspiracy theories, especially after for the fact that Kuldeep didn't get a game in England last year over 5 tests. But he sort of put things in perspective, saying that look, away from home, when you are playing just one spinner, you cannot play a wrist spinner because Kuldeep is not a bowler who can be used to contain. When overseas, when you are playing a spinner, it has to be a spinner. Leaving aside Ravindra Jadeja is a world-class all-rounder. But besides Jadeja, if you are playing a spinner, that has to be a finger spinner. In that case, it was Washington Sundar. Because you are using, the team management using a finger spinner to for containment. Because what happens in overseas conditions, the onus is on the fast bowlers to take wickets and they are your attacking options. So you cannot take, When you are playing just one spinner, it cannot be a wrist spinner. But as far as the Indian conditions are concerned, Kuldeep is always and still remains an out and out match winner. So I hope Kuldeep should be used a little bit more because he is someone who can give you wickets. Yes, Manav Sutar is the new kid on the block and offering promise, but you shouldn't forget the fact that Kuldeep has a. Kuldeep is someone who can come up with a ripper, who can. Especially on a day five wicket, he can be very very active.
In these conditions, when there is dryness underneath the surface, Kuldeep can definitely catch him. But as I have said, it will require the captain to have confidence in him to give him long spells, much like Shubman Gill is doing with Manav Sutar. He's just playing his second test match. But if you look at both the innings, Manav Sutar was brought in as a first change bowler by Shubman Gill ahead of a Ravindra Jadeja, ahead of a Kuldeep Yadav. Ravindra Jadeja is also bowling decent amount of overs despite being the fact that he bats as well. But Kuldeep being a specialist bowler, not getting enough overs in this test match is something that can dent his confidence. I mean, and this is where it goes wrong for a player like Kuldeep. We have seen time and time again, whenever there is a dent in Kuldeep's confidence, he has somewhat struggled to find the rhythm back. Be it in the IPL when he was a part of Kolkata Knight Riders, when Dinesh Karthik was the captain, or be it when he was left out for a long time from the Indian Test team. So for Kuldeep, he needs confidence, and confidence will only come with wickets and when you will bowl more overs.
But I'll touch upon a bit more about my conversation with that former player before coming back to this game. And interestingly, I asked him how many wickets the great Muthaiya Muralidharan would have taken if you are playing now and with the advantage of DRS. And he said 1,000 wickets. He instantly said 1,000 wickets. First of all, DRS, and he said, you see, these days, no batsman plays more than three dot balls. They sort of get restless. And Murali was someone who wanted the batsman to attack him. And that, if a batsman was attacking him, then he was in his element. So it was a very nice conversation about Kuldeep and Muralidharan and everything. But coming back to this game and coming back to Manav Sutar, Bhavan, if you look at him closely and the technical aspect of him, you see there are two other left-arm spinners in this game. One is Ravindra Jadeja, besides Manav Sutar, one is Ravindra Jadeja, and another is Prabhat Jayasuriya from Sri Lanka. If you look at their action, Prabhat Jayasuriya and Ravindra Jadeja are a bit similar. If you look at it, when they are bowling up, it is, and also the non-bowling up, pretty straight with their front leg. Manav Sutar's case, his front arm go a bit sideways of his front leg, which means he is putting a lot more effort into his bowling. Now, I think, what do you think that this is one quality that helps him turn the ball irrespective of the surface?
And overspin, I think what Sri Lanka have been unable to tackle is Manav Sutar's overspin. The overspin that he is imparting is getting extra bounce off the wicket, and that's where he becomes very threatening against the batters of Sri Lanka. If you look at the Sri Lankan batters' pedigree, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, and that's where Manav Sutar, the way he has operated, continuously floating it up, trying to spin the ball rather than bowling the defensive line and lengths. He's trying to spin the ball, and obviously sea breeze has played beautiful factor. Shubman Gill, the way the ends that he has bowled Manav Sutar, the breeze has done really good to him. If you look at the breeze factor, the way he drifts the ball, then that overspin allows the ball to turn. Then there's some grip as well. So Manav Sutar being the classical left-arm spinner reminds me of the old spinners that used to play of the early days. And that's why, Manav Sutar, this is where he becomes very difficult to face because of the overspin and the ability to drift the ball.
Vaibhav, when I see Manav Sutar, I feel, and it's a bit unfair on him. I think that this guy is cut out for test cricket, for red ball cricket, and should be kept out of white ball cricket. I know it is unfair on him because, no one wants to be left out of the IPL. Yeah. That is very, if all the other players are there in the IPL. Why will you ask Manav Sutar to be not part of it? But then again, after a long time, Indian cricket has got someone who is absolutely cut out, for red ball cricket, and it's brilliant to see. It is brilliant to see. But Vaibhav, do you think? Today, as far as Sri Lanka, if we discuss a bit about Sri Lankan batting, do you see anyone? Do you see anyone who can who can thwart this Indian spin attack?
It has to be Sonal Dinusha, the centurion of the first innings. I think he looks like one who has got the technique, who has got the temperament to play the long innings, much like he did in the first innings as well. So I think that it could be Sonal Dinusha. It could be down to how much Sonal Dinusha backs in this innings. He has already got a start, has looked very solid against playing those reverse swings, and the way he has tackled Ravindra Jadeja, he has attacked Ravindra Jadeja in the first innings as well, and even yesterday he started attacking Ravindra Jadeja from the start. So he has picked this bowler that he's going to go after Ravindra Jadeja, plays the sweep shot really well, counters the spin, has the good defensive technique. Sonal Dinusha in all looks like a good batter. He has a very good temperament as well, and looks like one who can trouble Indians, much like he did in the first innings. And then obviously Niroshan Dikwela carrying his form, if he can do it. See, Shamik, this game is about 3 wickets for India. Dhananjay D'Souza, Sonal Dinusha, and Niroshan Dikwela. And the only way Sri Lanka can do is to build partnerships, and frustrate the Indians. But as they say, you can only delay the inevitable. You can only delay the inevitable. You can delay the match result, but you cannot change it. Because if these three Sri Lankan batters, Sri Lanka, we draw this game from this position, then it will be remembered for ages. It will go down one of the best matches in Sri Lanka's history, because just look at the quality of India's bowling attack, even without a Jasprit Bumrah. Just look at the new kid on the block, Manav Sutar, Ravindra Jadeja, Mohammad Siraj. So enough qualities for Sri Lanka to survive the entire day. Even if they don't go for the target, it will be very, very tough.
Uh, Bema, we have a question here, and Omkar Saab is asking, Omkar Patel, he is asking, अकीब नबी को कब चांस देंगे? तो देखिए भाई साहब, ये प्रॉब्लम है ये. Akib Nabi is here as a replacement for Jasprit Bumrah. He wasn't part of the original squad. Batting में भी, if you look at it, they stuck to, very rightly, they stuck to Dhruv Jurel and didn't instantly bring on Sarfraz Khan. So कुछ टीम स्पोर्ट में कुछ एथिक्स है, वो मेंटेन करना पड़ता है. And the fact of the matter is that Akib Nabi was not part of the original squad, and Akib Nabi, no disrespect to him, someone who has taken more than 100 wickets over 2 Ranji Trophy seasons. He is a fantastic bowler, but maybe he is a conditions bowler. Where if India, 3 months down the line, India would be playing tests in New Zealand, and maybe there he will have there he could be considered. He could be considered as an option, But in these conditions, he is basically a backup. But Bema, coming to this game, just taking a detour from the action out there in the middle. After the day's play on 4th day, Devdutt Patikal came for the post-game presser. And there, he spoke about Rahul Dravid. That how Rahul Dravid, he is always at hand in terms of, it's not that Rahul Dravid is his mentor per se, but whenever help is required, Devdutt Patikal can reach out to Rahul Dravid. And this Rahul Dravid school of batting, this Karnataka players. So, it's such a massive advantage, isn't it? If you can reach out to Rahul Dravid to talk about your batting, it's such a massive advantage for any answer, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And this is what Rahul Dravid has been doing to Indian cricket. Even when he was the under-19 coach, Shubman Gill has played under him. Shubman Gill has high regards for Rahul Dravid in terms of how he has developed, how he has evolved as a player. It's a massive privilege for any player, be it capped players, uncapped players, if you can reach out to legends who have made truckload of runs in international cricket. If you can reach out to Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, Sunil Gavaskar for that matter, it's a massive privilege. And this reminds me of a podcast in which Virat Kohli said that during IPL, when a Yashasvi Jaiswal comes up to me and asks me questions about his batting ahead of the start of the match, and I know he's in a opposition team, then also, even if I don't want to help him, my instincts won't allow that. I would definitely go out of my comfort zone to help him, even though he belongs to the opposition team, because that's that's what my seniors have taught me, and that's what who I am as a person. So this is so beautiful. This is the one beautiful thing about Indian cricket, that there is no gap between the seniors and the juniors, the retired cricketers, the active cricketers. You see a lot of cricketers talking to Sachin Tendulkar after the IPL games, talking to MS Dhoni after the IPL games, and they entertain these youngsters. They talk. You always see legends interacting with these youngsters, the active cricketers, and that is so heartening to see, because the more you listen, the more you apply whatever knowledge they are passing on to you, more you get better. Look at what the Devdas Padikkal is doing. Like you said, he reached out to Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid has scored so many runs, and it's only fitting that Devdas Padikkal has now scored second most number of runs in a India Sri Lanka Test match after Rahul Dravid. The tally stands at 211 runs, which he has achieved in this match, and only better is Rahul Dravid's 215 against the same opposition.
No, Vaibhav, this is not only restricted to Indian cricket. This transcends geographic boundaries. I give you an example. 1948, just after India's independence, India went to Australia for a test series against Don Bradman's Indian series. And there, in the first test, the great Ray Lindwall had the great Vinu Mankad's number. He dismissed him in both innings. And while after the test match, Vinu Mankad reached out to Ray Lindwall and asked him why he was struggling to counter Lindwall's incoming deliveries. So Lindwall said, Vinu, you have a backlip as high as the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and you are asking me why. And Lindwall, after that, after the series, said tongue in cheek, I regret giving him that suggestions, because that backlip was immediately cut short, and Vinu Mankad came up with 100 in the next test. So it is cutting across. This transcends geographic boundaries.
I see, when it comes to Sri Lanka, because I have been here since 1 month, I covered the LPL as well, and there were a lot of legends who were in the dressing room dugout. I used to go on the ground and see what is happening after the match. You have a Ranganatha, you have so many legends in that tournament, playing in the tournament, so you hardly see players interacting with the legends, and this is where Sri Lanka cricket is at the moment. I have talked to a lot of former greats of Sri Lanka, and the only thing that they say is that the active players, not all, but active players, they don't reach out to them for any tips, for anything. They only play their way, and they are not so much. You look at where Sri Lanka cricket stands. There are not a lot of their cricketing legends like a Murli Dhara, like a Chaminda Vas, like a Sanat Jayasuriya, Maila Jayawardena, Kumar Sangakkara. These cricketers are not associated with the team, and you will not see a lot of players interacting with them pre-match, post-match, whenever they get time. And this is what players also have said off record. This is a very unfortunate part, and that is why I am saying that Indian cricket, where the position in which they are in, where it is only because of that there is no gap, and that gap is there which cannot be bridged in Sri Lankan cricket. If you see the legends, the active players, it cannot be bridged. I think it comes out in whatever I have experienced. I don't think that is the culture which is there in Sri Lanka. Yes, it is there in India. We have seen people doing it in Australia as well. But unfortunately, I haven't seen. I don't think that is there. Even if you talk to the former cricketers here in Sri Lanka, they will say the same.
Vaibhav, and also the former players, the legends, they will not approach you.
Yeah, definitely.
You will have. You talk to them. They will tell you that they will have to. The youngsters will have to approach you, because if they volunteer, then that particular cricketer might take offense and might say, "Who told you to give me young?"
Yeah.
So the mindset of different mindsets. But once again, coming back to this particular, and let's talk a bit about Devdutt Padikkal and KL Rahul romance. Yesterday, when KL Rahul was given LBW by the on-field umpire and he decided against going upstairs, then Devdutt Padikkal called him back and insisted that he should take the review. And eventually, Padikkal proved to be right. It was high and basically on DRS, KL Rahul survived the way the two Karnataka, the two Bangalore players forged a partnership out there in the middle, both in the first innings, here in the second innings also. Let's talk a bit about KL and the two particular romance.
I think the top order pair of KL Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal has played a huge role in the position in which India are in. If you look at the highest partnership for India in the first inning, it was between these two Karnataka batters. And even in the second innings, when they lost Yashasvi Jaiswal on the third delivery yesterday, then again it was down to KL Rahul and Devdutt Padikkal to stabilize the innings, which they did again a 50-run partnership. And you talked about that DRS. That tells you that Devdutt Padikkal has that game understanding. Has, even though he's very young in his international career, but he can. And KL Rahul trusts him a lot, and that is why he took the DRS. Otherwise, KL Rahul didn't look convinced. He was walking back, and then Devdutt Padikkal asked him to take the review, which he did. Although he couldn't survive for too long because in the same spell of Prasidh Krishna, he lost his wicket. But it was so good to see that a senior player, vice captain of the team, having so much of trust on a player who is young in his international career, but because he used to have played so much for Karnataka in domestic cricket, have batted for so long in domestic cricket, that is why the understanding, the camaraderie is very good. You should see the camaraderie between the Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul, it is there. Similarly, the camaraderie that MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli used to have. You know, Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, Viren Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir, these the camaraderie builds partnerships. If you have enough trust, if you know each other well, then you know there will be a good sense while you are batting together, and that's how the long partnership forms.
And what about Rishabh Pant? I mean, time and again, I mean, I like the fact, the way he gives a damn to outside noise. Time and again, I mean, whenever he walks out to bat, it feels like there is a narrative. And lately, um, that narrative became a little harsh. If you look at his scores, he failed only 4 innings in the two tests against South Africa in the winter. And after that, maybe it was a trickle down effect of his shot he played in Guwahati. His vice captaincy was taken away. He was stripped of his vice captaincy. And then he scored a half century against Afghanistan in one of test also. And in this game, under pressure, I mean, India were 120 for 5 in the second innings. Yes, they were ahead. They were ahead in the game. But I mean, on this page, on our page, the innings in play, I mean, people keep talking about leaving out Rishabh Pant from the test setup. It is absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Funny, it's sarcastic to me because see, if you see the contributions of Rishabh Pant, ever since he has made his test debut, he scored across conditions in different countries, and he has scored tough runs. He has been India's go-to man whenever India need runs from a batter in the fourth innings. He has been that batter, and he has scored tough runs against all kind of opposition, against all kind of bowling. And Rishabh Pant, the flair that he brings, you just tell him what Rishabh Pant needs to do, and Rishabh Pant on most occasions has delivered in Test cricket. And that is why when people talk about Rishabh Pant being left out of the Test squad, it's so funny. Just see what he has done. You obviously one or two innings. If you look at, we talk about this particular Test match, Shubman Gill failed in both innings. But does that make Shubman Gill a bad player? Of course not. Shubman Gill cannot be judged only because of these 2 innings that he has played in ball. Obviously, he will get better. He will try to bounce back in at SSC. Cannot judge Shubman Gill on the basis of one Test match, 2 innings. Similarly, you cannot judge a player like Rishabh Pant on the basis of what he has done against South Africa. Just look at before that the England tour where he scored those twin hundreds and then he came out with a battled on one leg. That's what commitment is. See how committed he is. And the best part is Rishabh Pant is in a very good head zone. He's in a very good mental space, and that is why he's out there scoring runs because despite all the noise about his position, about his role, and about his shot selection, Rishabh Pant has enough trust in his abilities. So has the Indian team management. You see time and time again head coach talking to him between the net sessions. So you know, yes, vice captaincy has been taken away from him, but Rishabh Pant, the player, stays this team and he is there for a long run.
Vaibhav, look, I mean, Rishabh Pant's game is not one-dimensional. Far from it. He has got a very good defense. I've heard Ravichandran Ashwin, none other than Ravichandran Ashwin, saying on his YouTube show that Rishabh Pant has one of the best defenses in cricket. But then again, if you ask Rishabh Pant to bat like Chiteshwar Pujara, for example, Rishabh Pant doesn't remain Rishabh Pant. I was talking to one of the former India batsmen a couple of days ago, and I asked him, look, it is the safer route is for a player if you are a left-hander, then if you are playing a left-arm spinner, then play on the offside, go inside. Play on the outside, and if you are facing a left-arm spinner, then go, once again play with the turn. But Rishabh Pant does the exact opposite. Against left-arm spinner, he goes inside out. Against off spinner, he goes outside in. And I asked him why does he do so. He said he is someone who goes against the grain, simple as that. And that is the beauty of Rishabh Pant. If Rishabh Pant loses it, he no longer remains Rishabh Pant. And now we have our main man, Mr. Devasi Sen,
The weatherman.
our weatherman.
I am no more the weatherman.
He is
I
no.
am no more
I mean, he
my
has.
friend, my good friend, my brother. Vaibhav Tripathi is the weatherman.
So Devashish has relinquished his post as a weatherman.
Yes.
He has relinquished,
Yes.
but he still remains our main man. And I will go to him. Devashish, what do you think? What do you think? How this game do you expect to pan out? Do you expect the first session finish?
See, I am sporting a Sri Lankan fan. So, with all due respect to Sri Lanka, I am hoping that they get bundled out before lunch because we have been enjoying the Sri Lankan hospitality. Sri Lankan cricket has been all brilliant, right from Prasanna to everyone in Sri Lankan cricket, and we expect that we get to see the match getting over by lunch, so that we can spend some quality time in golf. Yes, provide we will definitely do our shows and everything, but at the same time we want some. We have hardly been around. So I have seen you have been going to the hotel in the golf course and coming back to the ground. So I want you to enjoy some time.
Some downtime.
Yes.
Some downtime. Let's hope so. I have full faith in Manav Sutar, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja to do the job before lunch.
Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna.
And in that case, enough time. We'll have enough time to file our match report.
It's a late and then 5 bowlers.
And file our match report, do press conference copies, do our live shows, and still we can spend some quality downtime. And there are so many places to visit. This is such a beautiful place. Goa is such a beautiful place. And that's Sri Lanka. It is such a beautiful country.
Lovely country. Beautiful country. Both terms. We have explored. Ask Vaibhav. He has been to Kandy, Nuwara Elia,
Dambulla, Syria. We have been all around Sri Lanka.
Sita Elia.
We have been all around Sri Lanka, but the thing is how quickly the Indian team wraps up this Sri Lanka innings, because see, obviously it's about taking 6 wickets, but again I was saying this to Shamik Devashish that it's not 6 wickets. The Indian team will be targeting the 3 wickets: Dhananjay De Silva, Sonal Denusha, Niroshan Dikweta.
Yes.
And the game is pretty much then there and there only, because then you have a long tail. With the Indian team has struggled in the past to remove tail enders, but that won't be the case on this wicket on day 5 against this kind of batting lineup of Sri Lanka.
Before we wrap up this show, Devanshu, this question I asked Vaibhav also. I'm asking this to you. Looking ahead, and the next test starts in 4 days. Do you see? If there is no big concerns, do you see India retaining this winning combination? India haven't won this game yet, and cricket is a game of glorious uncertainty. But unless Sri Lanka are pulling off a miracle, or whether playing spoils, we expect India to win this game. And in that case, do you expect India to retain the winning combination in the second test in Colombo as well?
So, in the ideal scenario, yes, I see India returning the same playing 11. Uh, but on the hindsight, you never know because Kuldeep Yadav in the first innings he did not go through the batting lineup because of the one wicket and the second innings so far he has put only three overs. So, and keeping in mind the conditions, whether it's going to be the similar like what we have in ball, that will also be a deciding factor whether India play in an extra simmer in Bangalore run or they stick to the same formula.
And now, as the match is about to start, I hand over to Vaibhav for his epilogue before we sign off as regards our morning show. Vaibhav, is there any other question?
No, there is just one comment which we will take and wrap up the show. Hello, Baba. I'm a big fan of KL Rahul. I need KL Rahul's signature cap. Please do it for me. How can I contact? See, KL Rahul, you can try him on his Insta. I'm sure LinkedIn must be there. X is there. Facebook. I'm sure he's there on all socials. Try and reach out to him. If he can help you with his signature, it's well and good because we are bounded. We cannot do it. But yes, hope that KL Rahul has a good series if you are really his fan and it will augur well for Indian cricket. So yes, this was it from our end. We'll obviously come back whenever the match ends. If this goes through lunch, then obviously you please join us for the post lunch session. But if not, if the match wraps up before that, then obviously we'll do the post match live. So join us then and like, share and subscribe. We'll keep bringing you all the updates down from ground zero related to the India Sri Lanka Test series. Thank you for watching. Neil, close the show. Match. The players are. I think the players are out there in the middle. The game will start in few minutes from now, so we will also take your leave. Please close the show, Neil. We also have to rush back to our duties.
Neil, I know you are an East Bengal fan, but don't. Please just say Joy Mohan Bagan and be on the ball.
I think he's upset by the fact that we said Jai Mohan Bagan before the start of the show. Someone will have to close the show. Please do. Otherwise, we also will get late. Like yesterday, Yashasvi Jaiswal got out and then we entered the media box. And then we were like, oh, Yashasvi Jaiswal has already got out. So, please close the show so that we can get back to our duties. Like we are facing delays in getting the show and I just hope that Indian team doesn't get same delay from the Sri Lankan.
Like the Sri Lankan national anthem.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm not disrespectful. I think among we have seen so many times.
You know, as Devashish mentioned, Sri Lanka's national anthem, and
Very
it is my favorite. It is one of my favorites. I give you a backstory.
Not be wrong. So I'm not saying that.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as because Devashish mentioned it, and very pretty app that Devashish mentioned it. I give you a story about Sri Lankan national anthem. 1932, I think, if I am not mistaken, Lahore Congress, India, the Congress, the Indian National Congress, adopted Janagana Mana as India's national anthem. The first few stanzas, and then obviously it was written by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, and at that time Ananda Samarakund, a Sri Lankan scholar, was there at Vishwabharati University in Shantiniketan, and he wrote a poem and went to Gurudev Tagore and asked him and requested him, Gurudev, you have given India's national anthem, and now I have written this. If you can, if you can give a tune to this, and when as and when Ceylon, it was Ceylon back then, as and when Ceylon would be um, uh, uh, free, then we can use this as our national anthem. And this is how Sri Lanka Mata. It was earlier Nama Nama Mata, Nama Nama Mata. Now it was Sri Lanka Mata. So this is how Sri Lanka Mata became Sri Lanka's national anthem. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's hand in it, and such fantastic thing. Once again, thank you, Devashish, for mentioning it. Pretty apt that you mentioned it.
But we are yet to have him. Shall we end from our end?
We cannot end on our end. That is the unfortunate part.
I'll have to do the match. I just take your leave. Vaibhav is there and so is Devashish. But Devashish will have to take all the photographs. So we cannot miss action. So we cannot miss. So we both have to leave. For a moment, Vaibhav is holding the fort. But I think Neil will pretty soon Neil will be active and he will close the show. On that note, have a good day, our viewers.
Now I have been left stranded by the two veterans. I don't know what is the. Please try and continue to text them to close the show, because again we will lose out on live action. I think I just have to see. Yes, the players are in a huddle. Indian team is in a huddle. They are talking. And meanwhile, we will take some questions. Please ask your questions if you have any related to the match, related to the players, related to the game. There's plenty of action going around. Bangladesh defeated Australia. Play to start on time. Yes, it's an early start once again, 9:45. Early start to the day. 98 overs once again, but I don't think the game will last till the last session on 98 overs. Will have to be bowled because India will be looking to wrap things early. So we'll have to see how many overs of play is remaining. Weather क्या हो रहा है? Weather is very good. Blue skies, clear skies. There's no forecast of rain, and that's a good thing that India will get a result out of it if the weather remains the same. But there is so much uncertainty about weather in the coastal regions of Sri Lanka. You can never be sure about the weather, but it is likely to be clear. And before weather plays points put, it is better India wrap the things earlier. Okay, so I think Neil is back there in the back end. Neil, please close the show. We are already very late. Now we'll have to go back to our duties. And thanks for joining. Everybody will be back after the. If it survives till lunch, then till lunch. Otherwise, we will be back after the game.